Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is Jennifer Wintzer of Shakespeare Festival St. Louis. Thank you for being here. So I mentioned something very, very briefly in the first segment that now we actually have some time to get into, and this is something new. It's called In the Works, or Shakespeare in the Works. What is it?
Well, for Shakespeare Festival St. Louis, we've been, since 2001, with really thinking about three program strands: in the park, and then in the schools, and in the streets, which was introduced about 6 or 7 years ago. So we're building on those three program strands this year of being in the schools, in the streets, in the park, with our In the Works festival that will launch this fall. Details and specifics are coming soon. We're just giving out a little information right now. We'll be in residency at the Grandel, and we'll be offering a new play festival of playwrights and artists that are inspired by the works of Shakespeare.
Got it. So this is going to be a little bit different. It's not necessarily going to be Shakespeare, but works of playwrights inspired by Shakespeare.
Exactly.
And where did the idea for this come from? Just from the feedback that you've gotten from sort of patrons over the years, or?
I think there's two goals. One is to really increase our year-round presence as a festival so that we can offer plays and offerings indoors. Often our work is done outdoors, as we all know. And also to really not only build on what we think are the classics like Shakespeare, but to continue to build new voices in the American theater, and do that by investing in playwrights and artists that we would like to see try something new.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. And you mentioned one of the other pillars is Shakespeare in the schools. And that's happening, I mean, you work statewide, you go statewide. Tell us a bit more about your educational outreach program.
The education tour is one arm of our In the Schools programming, and it has a 15-year legacy. We go to over 65 schools with the education tour. We load up 5 actors, a stage manager, 2 sets into a van, and we produce abridged versions of Shakespeare plays with the original language and content of the play, as well as this year we're also introducing a new work by Nancy Bell, a playwright, called A Most Outrageous Fit of Madness. And that's based on the Comedy of Errors. So that will rotate and rep with Romeo and Juliet to the schools this year. We're running February 5th through April 15th, I believe.
And how does it, when you're working in the schools, I mean, you're going all over different counties, urban, rural. How is it that you feel like just students respond to learning more about Shakespeare?
Excitement across the board. You know, I think live theater is something that's so unique and special to our young people right now, particularly. We spend a lot of time in front of technology, which is a good thing, but we also want to keep the spoken word and the live theater alive for our young audiences. We have an opportunity for them to engage with our artists either through curriculum and workshops, post-performance, or even just through simple question and answer conversations. And I think in addition to being inspired by the content, it also opens a window of opportunity for our young people that maybe they didn't know existed in terms of careers and really working in the arts.
No, that's great to hear. And then let's talk about Shakespeare in the streets. What's coming up with that?
We have Below Winds by Nancy Bell, and it's based on King Lear. We are excited to bring this back. It was originally scheduled for September, this past September, and that will be in partnership with the Central Library. On the steps of the library, of the beautiful facade, the work of our designers, Marjorie and Peter Spack, who are designing for the park as well, will highlight the gorgeous architecture of the library. And that's June 15th and 16th. And this is a story that is told through the lens of St. Louisans, through interviews that our playwright has done throughout over a year and a half of development process. And there we will be able to showcase over 80 local artists on that stage. So it's pretty exciting for us to have this opportunity to showcase it during the festival.
Yeah, and we should make a note of that it's not happening. I think people have been used to it happening in the fall, but it's going to happen for a short time simultaneously with Shakespeare in the Park, is what you're saying.
That's right. So come see Romeo and Juliet, and then come see King Lear, Below Winds, on the steps of the Central Library, June 15th and 16th.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I mean, you guys do wonderful, wonderful work, and always just doing something new, which I think is great. Each season, it's like something new is coming along. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we've got the information there for you on the screen at Shakespeare Festival St. Louis. For more information about all the programs that we talked about today and more details, you can head to their website at sfstl.com or call 314-531-9800. Well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.